Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this World of Warcraft raiding guide. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the 10-man heroic mode of Beth'tilac. In order to complete this fight, we use 2 tanks, 3 healers and 5 DPS. Please also note this guide will assume you know how the normal mode version of this encounter works. For the first phase of this encounter, we're going to be looking at it from a Resto Druid's point of view. He also recorded the fight, and you can find a link to his YouTube channel, or the guild's YouTube channel should I say, in the video description below. So just like in the normal mode, at the start you'll get this massive AoE damage which won't stop until people go up. The only difference with the spinners is that you will get 3 sets of 2, and they need to die, and they need to be taunted down as well. If you don't taunt them down fast, they will begin channeling a stun onto a random player that is on the lower part of this fighting area, I guess you could call it. So for the first Smoldering Devastation, we sent up a Druid tank, a Discipline Priest I think he was, might have been Holy, I'm not sure about that one, a Fury Warrior and myself as Arcane Mage, but obviously I'm up, you can't see me, this is a different POV. And ideally from the 3 Smoldering Devastation phases, you want to be getting the boss to around 80% for phase 2, because she will do a shit ton of damage. This fight requires a lot of HPS and also a lot of DPS, so it's kind of a major gear check and is said to be the second hardest encounter in the Firelands on 10 man, after Ragnaros of course. So, as you can probably see on the screen, there's these small yellow patches that are appearing from out of nowhere, and this is because on the normal mode encounter, heroic mode encounter, you get these new ads called the Broodlings, and they have about 200k health, and when they hit someone they will explode like you can see on the screen. You want someone to be soaking these, so to speak, around the outside of the lower platform area, and you want the raid to be stacked in the middle area at all times for AoE healing from well, as you can see here, we've got 2 Resto Druids downstairs. Resto Druids kick ass on this fight. If you have them available, use them. So yeah, these Broodlings, when they hit a player, they will explode. And if you stand in the explosion, you will take damage. It's simple, don't stand in the yellow shit of doom. In order to soak these, we used a Death Knight, as you can see there, with anti-magic shield on. However, Hunters also work well, and I believe Holy Paladins can also do a pretty decent job at it. The DK is also able to take down these Spiderlings that will go towards the drone, with some help from the Warlock from time to time. Finally, for phase 1, the drone has a new ability which is called Fixate, and he will randomly target one player in the raid, and he will run to them and pound on them. However, when he is fixating on someone, he will deal 75% less damage. So it's very healable. You just need to make sure that he's turned away from the raid at all times, as he does have a frontal cone attack, and also make sure the person that gets fixated is running away from these Spiderlings like the tank normally would. One thing to also bear in mind is if the person who is soaking the Broodlings has the drone fixate on them, you want to have someone there as a backup, just in case, you know, there's a few Spiderlings next to where the Broodling is, and, you know, the drone suddenly has full health and no energy and is going up, and you're thinking, oh shit, what are we going to do? You don't want that happening. You can't really make too many mistakes in this fight, however, as you'll see from my POV from the kill video, I made a few mistakes. And I think our Resto Druid said he made a few as well, but either way, you get the 3 Smoldering Devastations as normal, and when the 3rd one has gone off, she will come down, which we will see in a second. Just like in normal mode as well, make sure that all Spiderlings are dead before Beth'tilac does come down, because, you know, if you've done well to get it to around 80% health like we did, then you don't want it to just go to 100% health. It's going to be a waste of time, and it's most definitely going to be a wipe because of the sheer amount of damage that she will be putting out. Okay, so phase 2 is starting now, and we're going to swap over to the mage POV. Okay, this is where all of the work that you've done for phase 1, it kind of comes down to managing healing cooldowns and also making sure people are actually doing decent amounts of DPS in order to get the boss before she starts one-shotting people, as you will see later on. So yeah, she does a lot of damage, as I've said many times. As you can see, we have the 2 healing circles from the rest of druids. Rest of druids just kick ass so much on this fight. You want at least 1, if not 2, like we used. Everybody should be stacked up behind the boss, and tanks should be taunting when they get a stack of the Widow's Kiss. The boss's stacks, as you can see on the right target, one with the little eye looking at you, I can't remember its name. Yeah, that doesn't want to be going above 40, otherwise she will just annihilate your raid. I think we got it to maybe just over 30, something along those lines. We'll see in a second. So here, obviously, tanks just keep on taunting. You don't really want to waste any cooldowns until later on. It's also recommended that you use Time Warp, Bloodlust Terrorism, things like that, when the boss is at around 17 stacks of a damage increase buff. As you can see from the top right, a lot of heals per second is needed. So here we have druids using Tranquility. We have really good communication on Vent for raid cooldowns such as the Priest Barrier. We have two rest of druids for Tranquilities. It's just really well managed. And basically all you need to do is stack up behind the boss and hit it until it dies, or at least until it kills you all. Now in a second you will see our Protection Warrior get one shot by her, and that's just an example of how much damage she can output. When her damaging stacks get really high, she will one shot people. Luckily we had a combat res up, so we just carried on with the fight and eventually got the kill, which is what I hope this guide helps you to do. As always, thank you for watching, and if this guide's helped you, feel free to subscribe to the channel for future World of Warcraft guides. Patch 4.3 is going to be on the PTR soon, I know it. I'm going to get those videos up as soon as the PTR is available. Good luck and have fun raiding.